we're still losing carriers. Premiums are still going up.
Property insurance crisis in the crosshairs.
The repealing of the one-way attorney's fees is going to be a tremendous step in the right direction.
A special session starts tomorrow.
It upsets me when insurance companies try to point the finger at lawyers.
What's in, what's not, and will it work?
I thought the original complaint was baseless.
The drama takes a turn as the commissioner takes his chair.
And speaking of chair, Miami-Dade has a new chairman in charge.
The big news of the week and the newsmakers, all live this week in South Florida.
Good morning. Glad you could join us. I'm Michael Putney.
I'm Glenna Milberg, and as we come on the air, South Florida lawmakers are headed to Tallahassee to take on a complicated crisis that touches everyone in the state. How to reverse the crushing costs of insuring homes and property, especially relevant in the months after Hurricane Ian showed what is at stake.
Two big property insurance bills were made public on Friday night, not really leaving much time for the public and the media to study them, but we can clearly see their goals. They include keeping the insurance market financially stable, reining in the lawsuits, downsizing citizens, and eventually giving consumers a break on their insurance costs. We will get into the details in the next hour with some of the people on the front lines, an attorney who sues insurers and a lawyer who represents insurance companies in Tallahassee.
We begin, though, with a South Florida lawmaker already there and ready to debate. Senator Jason Pizzo, Democrat representing Northeast Miami-Dade to Fort Lauderdale, here with us today. Have you gotten any sleep at all, Jason?
You can see some bags under my eyes,
yeah,
but no, we've been up here for a couple days.
Yeah, so let's just, this bill is massive and detailed, but the goal today is to really make it accessible for people to understand what's in it. So it's, you and I talked, it's like three basic parts, and I thought that was a great way to break it down about citizens, about attorneys' costs, and about reinsurance. So what do you see, let's start off, what do you see as working in this bill?
There are a number of things that work in theory. So the three basic parts, as you discussed, we have state general revenue being used to go ahead and basically offer discounted reinsurance. That's not going to be really applicable directly to your viewers because it's going to be the insurance companies laying off some of the risk for reinsurance. And basically what they're getting is $1 billion of taxpayer money to go ahead and find a discount in that space. And citizens, I have a citizens policy, so that might be relevant to a lot of your viewers. There's a number of things in citizens we can discuss, but on the attorney's fees and sort of court access, you're hearing about one-way attorney's fees and trial attorneys and all that. Here's basically what the bill does in layman's terms, because I have to describe it even to family members. It basically does away with when you hire an attorney who goes and you have a claim, let's say for $20,000 is your claim, your attorney might rack up fees of $10,000. And typically when you have prevailed to be able to get your settlement amount from the insurance company by litigating, by suing, they get their attorney's fees and you get your claim amount that you sought. Now the bill completely does away with that and says that me as a homeowner or you as a homeowner, you're basically sort of on your own. If you want to hire an attorney, great, but you're going to pay for it.
Yeah, Jason,
obviously,
can I jump in here? Because you have really touched on one of the most contentious issues here, which is that issue of attorney's fees and the attorneys getting paid by the insurance companies. Surely trial lawyers are just going to stand on their head to stop that from going away. Can they prevail?
We don't have the numbers. And there are some Republicans across the aisle, my colleagues, who are liitigators, who I think are probably not terribly excited about this. What are the good parts? I want to be very, I'm always objective and try to be very candid and fair. So some good parts, right? Right now, you have the insurance company has 90 days. We're moving that back to 60, okay, to basically, to make a decision. Homeowners now will have no longer 2 years to go ahead and file a claim. They'll only have 1 year. But the insurance company has now 7 days instead of 14 to acknowledge that you have a claim. And their inspection, which was always done physically, can now be done remotely with drones or high definition video or photographs. and that's gone from 45 down to 30 days to initiate that inspection. I have a number of questions that will flesh themselves out over the next couple of days. I know are relevant to you guys, to your viewers. Namely, how does this apply to condos? On the citizen side, you're going to be required to have flood insurance, but I have citizens, but I'm in a condo, right? So I have to have flood insurance. And does it, some of these things sort of have to be fleshed out. But Michael, to your point, trial attorneys are going to be really upset. It comes down to this sort of basic question. If I have a $15,000 claim and I call an attorney who says that my legal fees are likely going to be $12,000, how does that not have a chilling effect on, you know what, it's not worth it. It's not worth my time. I'm going to spend as much in attorney's fees or close thereto as to what the actual claim is. So do I think this is going to reduce rates? Absolutely. But here's what I'm going to be looking for. I won't get an answer this week, but here's what we should be looking for later down the road, looking back at this retroactively, is have premiums gone down? And more importantly, have payments stayed relatively the same? You have to accept the argument from their side, or from the other side, so to speak, that legal representation and participation in this whole kind of situation has rendered fewer payments and taking less time to do so. Okay, and I don't know that that's the case, but we'll wait and see.
There's a component, if anyone cares to read the bills, you see the word bad faith come up in a lot of the components, telegraphing that there is fraud in this system. Not pointing fingers here, but having had firsthand experience as a homeowner with what they call assignment of benefit, what I thought was a little bit scammy on my bill. When you assign benefits, for anyone who might know, you have a claim, you have a catastrophe, the contractor comes in and says, oh, I don't want you to worry about anything, just sign over the insurance to me, step away, you'll get all your work done, I'll get paid directly. And then when you look at the bill at the end that your insurer is paying, there are things on there that raise your eyebrows to the ceiling.
Sure, absolutely.
And that's gone in this bill. Assignment of benefits is no longer available. Is that a win-win? Who's going to blow back on that?
So, I'm not saying that all homeowners are unsophisticated, but, when the insurance commissioner of Florida last January stands before the Banking and Insurance Committee and says, we have the most complex and complicated insurance system, not in the country, likely in the world, it sort of suggests that John Q. and Mary homeowner are not exactly, familiar with the nuances and things about construction, and nor should they be. Obviously, it's a moment of damage or loss or destruction. It's a distressing situation. Someone comes along and says, and I'm with you, Glenn. There are a lot of snake oil salesmen, but someone comes along and says, listen, what you can see topically of water damage, you might have more interior stuff, and they find that there's more, and all of a sudden the laundry and the grocery wish list of things that have to be repaired or paid for expands well beyond what you even contemplated or. And here's the thing, when you assign your benefits to that person, they say, listen, I'll step in your shoes and I'll act on your behalf and I'll go get you paid for this stuff. There's stuff that you don't even know about that we can get. And that, I think, is obviously a driver, but it goes back to the following sort of, not sentiment, but empirically. If we allow insurance companies in Florida, right, when you go through the list of all the things that are being offered here, and your next guests are going to talk about it, but objectively and candidly, there's a lot more in here for insurers than there are for the insured, right?
Yeah, we see that.
It's just, that's really where it is.
Yeah. Jason, let me ask you to go back to the subject of citizens insurance. It's supposed to be the insurer of last resort, but at last check, they have 1.1 million policyholders. They're only going up. They charge considerably less than private insurers. Private insurance, of course, are charging on the average more than $5,000 per policy. Citizens charges $3,227, but there are going to be a lot of people who have Citizens who are going to be forced to take private insurance. Is that right?
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah, and this is real for me. It's not not an academic exercise. If I go and try to place insurance I have Citizens right now, and if I go, or I'm required to go shop the market, and I find a policy offering that's within a 20% delta, 20% or less difference between my Citizens premium and what the private market's offering, they can kick me out. Also, if it's a second home, then they can hike your insurance up 50%. Michael, to your point, they're at 1.1 million. They have over $380 billion in exposure. They don't have the dollars to remotely even to cover that if we had or sustain some sort of loss. So it's the buzzword this week on Citizens is depopulation. They want to kick, even though it's the last resort, they want to kick as many people out as possible to narrowly tailor it down to a smaller group.
Well, and if Citizens has problems or goes under, it's every Florida taxpayer that's on the hook for that. But you know what's really interesting is that you actually did our teases for us for our next guest, because we're going to be delving into the insurance side, the attorney side as we go along. Jason Pizzo, Senator from North Miami, great to have you aboard again.
Great. Michael, thank you for years of incredible integrity and professionalism and having me and welcoming me on your show. You did it right, man.
You're very kind, my friend. Thank you, and have a good session up there.
Thank you.
Take care. All right, still to come, an attorney for insurance companies considered in the industry one of the top in the state.
We will ask him about the high number and the high cost of insurance litigation.